Hello and welcome. This is Lita Downs from the Center for Faculty Excellence, and I would like to welcome you to today's offering, the Advising Transformation, a new and improved academic advising model overview. Our presenters, Kiana Tarpley and Mandy Olson, originally presented this offering at the Winter 2019 National Faculty Meeting in Tampa, Florida. We're really excited to have them on the line again today. And at this point, I'm going to turn things over to them so they can do a brief introduction and get things started. Welcome.
Thank you, Lita. This is Kiana Tarpley, Director of Continuous Improvement. I've been working really closely with Mandy and her team in Student Success Advising to take our advising transformation from a vision into implementation through the Personalized Advising for Student Success initiative.
Great. And it's been a pleasure working with Kiana on this project. My name is Mandy Olson. I am the Senior Director of Student Success. I'm very excited to get in front of faculty to really discuss, what does the future vision and future state of advising look like? So we are really working to transform, redesign the advising model. Our goal is to personalize that experience for students and really optimize on their journey here at Walden and, see them graduate and reach that academic success. Academic advisors are uniquely positioned at Walden University to be the one individual that really starts with the student upon enrollment and admissions and sees them through graduation. So, we really want the advisor to welcome that student and to be there for them. You're going to see this theme throughout to help them navigate the online experience and in you partnering with faculty to support that academic journey, continuing to support them to resolve the issues that come up along the way so that they can get back on track and work with staff and faculty, really as an advocate for the student. We want to be their cheerleader throughout this program. We know students experience self-doubt and many of our students might run into hurdles that might set them back in their academic career. So we want to be that person that really helps keep them on track and gets them motivated to whatever it might be, return or retake a class. And then be there at the end to help them celebrate, offer up that congratulations on the achievement of that end goal of completing their degree. So we're excited about being that one person that provides that additional support throughout that journey. And I'm going to pass it off to Kiana. Kiana, do you want to go over the gap analysis?
Absolutely. I will do that off of mute, though. That'll be very helpful. That was a great introduction, Mandy. And I think this slide really tells us about the how we're going to transform from our very transactional way of working into a more relationship building, consultative advising approach. And this is really driven from our pillars, mainly as Megan Thomas spoke in our town hall. Pillar 1, making the digital learners members for life, and Pillar 2, delivering personalized experiences for our students. And there are 4 focus areas we are transforming. The first is student relationships. So how we build student relationships as advisors. Right now in current state, we are very focused on answering inbound calls, making sure that we stay within SLA, completing tasks. So a very transactional model, as we just spoke about. In the future state, we want to really focus on building those relationships, guiding the students to on-time graduation, decreasing the last touch duration, making sure that our advisors have a system in place to stay in touch with our students on a more regular basis, increase cohort interaction rates, allowing our advisors to focus on their cohort students, the students that are assigned to them, that they are responsible for, and really moving from what we do now, which is very program advising, where we have an advisor that is available to all the students in the program. And although this is very helpful in making sure that we have someone available, what our advisors don't get a chance to do is build strong relationships with their cohort students. So that's the transformation we're making in the student relationship focus. The next one is continuous enrollment. Right now, advisors are very reactive in processing a lot of the schedule adjustments. So they do, if a student needs to drop a course, they call their advisor. The advisor will drop the course for them. If they need to add a course or make any adjustments, that's something they work with their advisor on. That, again, is still very transactional. What we want to move toward is a very proactive role for the advisors in managing the continuous enrollment throughout the program. Having a degree plan, having a shared degree plan with the student, so they're looking at the same information. Where are they now? What do they need to do to get to graduation? And are there any barrier roadblocks that the advisor needs to help with proactively before it becomes an issue? So increasing our term enrollment rates, increasing our students being in class when possible, reducing holds and keeping them on track. If they want to graduate, if they're an undergrad student and want to graduate in 4 years, that is, we have a plan for them, and we can let them know when their time degree completion is, if they're on track, and help them with managing what adult learners need to manage, which is, their school, their family, and other things that come along, but in a way that they are successful at the end of the day. The third focus area is academic success. So right now we spend lots of time and energy, unfortunately, on students that are already failing. They're in academic warning status. We have a very heavy lifting model to support academic warning students that take a lot of time and attention from our advisors during a very critical period of time, that first 3 weeks of a term start, when we want them to be on the phones, on email, in chat, interacting with our students, making sure that they're successful in their first few weeks of the course, assisting them with connecting to resources when possible. So really transforming into an early intervention, proactive, proactively helping our students to track them to graduation. So being involved in course success, that's something that we're really excited about moving into, that we don't do much of right now, which is tracking the success of the student during the course. So are they are they submitting their assignments on time? Are they participating? And really getting to issues before it becomes an academic warning situation. So increasing our course pass rate, increasing course participation, and increasing academic progress compliance. And the last one is experience. It's really our customer, our student experience, really looking at our high effort processes and services that become barriers for our student. One thing we like to say is we want our students to work hard in the classroom. So we want them to really put all of their effort and their attention in actually progressing and learning and growing with the coursework, with the content, and not have the effort really be on the service side. So they should be able to post an assignment easily. They should be able to find information easily, read a degree audit easily, complete financial aid information easily. These are all things that we want to make very easy and simple for them, so that the hard work is where it belongs, which is growing and learning in the classroom. So reducing the customer effort score, increasing customer satisfaction, and again, increasing our lifelong learners, our multi-program students, and our referrals. All of this is to achieve our key business objectives, which is increased graduation rates and net promoter scores. Although these are these business objectives are not necessarily something the advisor would be focused on, they'd be more focused on the goals listed for each focus area. Those are the drivers to really making real change within retention and graduation rates. So that's our focus area, what we our goals to achieve, and the way we plan to achieve them is through 3 major projects. One is a Tier 1, Tier 2 restructure, and that is about the reorganization of our people, our processes, and our systems within advising to really allow our advisors to focus on their cohort students. AA360 is a redesign of our views and our workflows for our advisors within Salesforce to allow them to have the information they need to have personalized interactions with our students, and to really reduce the amount of research they have to do to support our students, and again, focus on what's important, which is that experience and that relationship with the students. And lastly, really looking at the advising experience from the student perspective and improving the digital experience. So looking at the portal where our students get a majority of their academic information, looking at if we need to provide additional channels for them, making the services more mobile, and different digital products for them so that they are experiencing not only our highly skilled advisors, but also that's included with digital product that will enhance their overall experience with advising. So we'll go into depth with all three. We'll start with Tier 1, Tier 2 restructure. All right, so first we called out three major opportunities that we want to address within Tier 1, Tier 2 restructure. The first is the fact that our advisors are plugged into the general 1-800 Walden U lines, and so they have to be available for all the calls that are coming in, which makes them unavailable for really their students, their cohort students that need them proactively before they need to call in, and then also when they do call in, only about 10% actually get to their 10 to 15% get to the actual advisor because those advisors are answering all calls into that program. So the solution to that is our new Tier 1 advising coordinator team that we'll talk about in just a second. But we're really excited and have seen some great results so far with this Tier 1 team. The second is the administrative tasks that advisors do. They spend about 20% of their time on tasks that are back-end process work that really pull them again away from the student. And the whole idea of the Tier 1, Tier 2 restructure is to get our advisors out of the non-student facing activities and really working with them, with their cohorts day in and day out. So we have a little bit more information about that in the next slide as well. And then again, once we can get our advisors to connect with their cohort students, we want to make sure that they are having the right conversations. So transforming their conversations from more of a transactional, you have a question, I answer that question, to a consultative advising approach. And we'll talk again more about that. All right, so our Tier 1 team, this is the bottom slide. It was our project plan, and we are on plan, but today is not April 9th. We are actually complete with our Tier 1 undergrad launch, and it went really smoothly. So now our undergrad advising team has a Tier 1 team led by Missy Devlin. Up and running, and they've been doing an awesome job to make sure that they are providing experience-focused customer service for our students that are calling in to our general 1-800 Walden U line and not able to reach their advisor. So what this does is not only provide some cohesion of experience at the end of the day, having a Tier 1 team across all the programs, it also allows our advisors, which we also called Tier 2, to be available for their cohort students when they call into the 1-800 Walden U number. So the students have a better chance of getting to their actual advisors because they're not plugged into the queues. So we have much more information coming up on this once we get rolling on it, but we are on track and on schedule, and so far so good. So can't wait to speak to you guys a little bit more about the results we have seen in Tier 1. All right, so reducing administrative tasks. So the first thing we did was to quantify our administrative tasks into how much effort does it take from our advising team to complete these tasks. And again, administrative tasks are tasks that are not student facing. So they're the work that advisors are doing where they're not actually interacting with their students. So some of the highest are probably no surprise to this group. Petition and appeal request, academic progress, course registration, leave of absence, and withdrawal request. So the first one we're actually looking into in depth is academic progress. And Mandy and Olsen and Megan Thomas pulled together a pretty great group of folks from the IT, from our reg teams, from our operations teams, advising, all came together to really review what is going on with academic progress. What are all the steps that the team takes? What are some things we can do from an operational perspective to either reduce that work or automate that work in order for us to, again, reroute those estimated three advisors to not being so much focused on the research and focused on working with the students. So more to come again on, we had our discovery session. There are going to be outcomes to that project work coming out of that. And so we hope in our next quarterly review of PASS that we're able to share some of the outcomes that have come from that.
Right. I did want to just touch on as well some training that we launched in 2018 in preparation for moving into this new tiered structure and the advising transformation. So we did launch what we call GRASP, means Growing Relationships, the Advisor-Student Partnership Training, and it's really focused on advisors having the quality conversation, really that consultative student advising approach and framework, so that they're really going through the right process in, their conversations with students, building that rapport, ensuring they're understanding what the students need, making sure they have a solution or, can describe a solution or inform the student they're working on a solution, that they're committed to that, and then really provide a follow-up when they're going to get back to the student or what that looks like, or even following up if it's, a few weeks down the road to see how things might be going. So this is a real critical piece for success in this model is the quality conversations that they're having, and really utilizing the 6 critical skills throughout those conversations, so that advisors are really, know how to talk with students. And we don't always have to give great information. I mean, sometimes we have to give really tough information and have tough conversations, but it does build in a framework for them, to go about ensuring that they understand what the student needs, that they're providing empathy and kindness on the phone, and working to the best of their ability to resolve the issue and provide follow-up by utilizing all these different skills. I do want to mention that this training is ongoing, so advisors will be continuing to receive training around the framework. Managers listen into at minimum 6 phone calls a month with our advising staff. So they're looking, when they're listening into these conversations, they're ensuring that they're going through the critical skills. That's built in the quality assurance process. We have the GRASP framework really iterated throughout their goals and objectives throughout the year. And again, this is just such a critical piece to the quality behind the conversations that they're having in this new tiered structure.
All right, thank you, Mandy. All right, so we actually started working in our new model a bit. We asked Ashley Mathis, one of our STAR advisors, to start just contacting her cohort students and having these consultative conversations and interacting with her students in a more of a cohort management style. So again, it was just a jump into the water, start swimming and see what we find out. And we did have some great outcomes out of that. It was their, I know as Mandy could speak to, advisors cohorts are pretty large. So I think Ashley had about a cohort of 450 to 500 students that she reached out to over 3 weeks to a month period. So it was pretty intense interaction with her whole cohort. But what she did provide as feedback is that she really appreciated the proactive model of calling her students before they were in trouble and having proactive conversations, catching risk issues that may have become bigger and would have ended up on her list of calling once there wasn't a problem. So she really actually, her feedback was that she enjoyed this process. And then again, her students enjoyed just hearing from her. She shared that a few students were surprised that she was calling, and it was for a positive reason, because again, if a lot of our outreaches are for students being in trouble, then our students might not be hearing from us as much when they're doing well. So getting to them when they're actually progressing well is really important as well. So the advising sessions were successful. We did reduce the last touch duration, and we will be continuing them as we transition into the Tier 1, Tier 2 model. Starting in June, we'll be continuing at a larger scale the advising sessions. One of the biggest lessons learned out of the PASS lab is once we tried to roll advising sessions out to other advisors that were in different programs, the advisors are just too busy. So as you saw from the other slides, with the administrative tasks, with being in the 1-800 Walden UQs, they are pretty inundated with other activities. And so that's our first step, is to kind of clear off their plate, get them focused on their cohorts, and then we can begin the new model, starting with advising sessions. All right, so one of, I think Mandy and I, our favorite parts of this project is the AA360 view that will be coming soon in Salesforce using Lightning. So this is the new view. This is a wireframe, so we do like to let folks know this is just a drawing and it's not how it's going to look. It will not be in black and white. It will actually have color, but this is just to get an idea of, if you're not familiar with the contact record right now, there is a lot of information on a contact record, and it's not organized in a way that the advisor has everything that they need in order to have those personalized conversations. So this is our first step toward providing the right information to the advisors to have the right kind of conversations with their students. So if we click on the academic tab, this shows a little bit of the details that we can get. So the top bar gives us like the base information we need to know about a student's expected graduation rate, their start date, if they have their academic progress status, the last time that we've talked to them, the advisor has talked to them. And then if you click on the tab, we want to get program milestones, so really important places in the program that the advisor would like to speak to the student about, field experience sites, if there's time for their skills lab. And then the academic progress piece of it will be in there, as well as for our new students, what orientations have they taken, and if in maybe the dates that they've taken them, so that we can actually use that for our onboarding process. Again, some other information like petitions. You can see on the insights, having very clear information on the student's GPA, if they have any holds, the courses that they're enrolled in, any alerts. This is going to be really helpful, again, for reducing the amount of time the advisors spend finding this information in different systems. And yep. Thank you. If we go to the cohort section, this piece is really, we're really excited about this because right now our advisors aren't able to see their cohorts. They can't pull their whole 450 students together and see collectively what's going on with them. So this would be that view, being able to see of those cohort students, which ones are active, which ones are on hold, being able to click on those, and then really getting the details in that, seeing information on retention, being able to see the calls handle new cases on the left-hand side in their schedule appointments so they can manage their work. This is functionality we currently do not have and will be really important to the new way of working. So again, really excited about sharing with you once we have rolled out our MVP, our minimum viable product for AA360, and sharing with you the feedback and what it looks like and feels like. All right. So I think we can go on to the next slide. And this is more of our future state. So once we have Tier 1, Tier 2 built out, once we have AA360 built out, the next place we were talking about going is really looking at it from the student's experience perspective. This is just some visuals of ways that we can provide scheduling appointments in a different way, in a more user-friendly way for our students, being able to assign tasks from them, from the advisors, allowing them to select who they want to see from a student success team approach, and being able to see this information mobily. So being able to have it at their fingertips mobily, and then as well having digital products like the digital coach in Charlotte, but able to provide recommendations for courses and some, again, the more transactional advising work that we'd like to take off of our advisors' plates, really having digital products that could do this for the students in a self-service way. So lots of opportunity, really excited about this piece of the project as well. All right, to summarize PASS, Personalized Advising for Student Success, our goal is to really implement Tier 1, Tier 2 restructure, which will allow the advisors to focus on the students, and then provide the advisors with AA360, which is data-powered system that will drive those personalized interactions, and then couple that with integrated digital tools through digital advising experience. And that we would like to have as an end goal more happy grads and more members for life. And that's how we feel advising can make a difference.
Right. We just want to thank everybody who has been able to tune in to this recording. And Kiana and I are available for questions after you viewed this. If anything, you know, sparks a question from you or comment, feel free to reach out to Kiana Tarpley or Mandy Olson. We'd be happy to answer that. We just appreciate everybody who's gone in and viewed this video, and thank you for your time.